If you'd like your own copy of a segment from Central PA Live, log on to centralpatv.com for details.
Welcome back. Many of us have yards at our home. Some are smaller than others, but they all offer us space. And today we want to introduce you to a couple from the Borough of State College who has really maximized that space. They have a yard that's on the smaller side of the spectrum, but you'll be amazed at what they did with it. They have chickens, bees, a clay wood-fired bread oven, and a garden that will rival some small farms. It's true. They gave us a tour a few weeks back when they were in harvest mode. Here, check it out.
This is Chinese cabbage. This is kale. These four, they're producing about 3 eggs a day. Down here we've got Swiss chard. And this is a beehive oven. If you look in, it's hollow in there. Obviously that's the baking surface.
The idea is to harvest water.
This is a bed of cabbage, red cabbage. This is a bed of carrots. This probably has about 50 pounds of honey in it.
Chris and Dana have been farming this property for 6 years.
Nothing that you see here was done overnight. It's happened very incrementally in stages.
And it's grown into something extraordinary. It all started with a common love.
First of all, we love to eat. We love food.
So they thought, why not grow their own food?
We take our beets and our carrots and our onions that we grow with a little bit of brown rice, and we make veggie burgers that we freeze and eat throughout the winter.
We don't have any special food growing capacity or stone capacity or chicken tending or bee tending or fruit tending capacity. It's always the idea that we can learn as we go.
And that's exactly what they did.
We moved in here and I looked in the backyard and it was just sort of a lawnscape. But I also noticed that the lawnscape seemed to go into a whole other lot, which didn't have a house on it. So we became very curious and we knocked on the door of this neighbor down here. Is that your land? That's not my land. Talk to that woman up there. So we went to the house on the upside of this lot and knocked on the door. And it took a long time, but eventually a lovely woman, Margaret Felice, came to the door. And we introduced ourselves and asked if it might be possible to cultivate some of her land, which was just all grass. And she looked us up and down. I mean, here we are, utter strangers, and she said, I don't see why not. And that began the most lovely of relationships.
It's just been amazing. It's been the sweetest and surprising of relationships.
Since then, Dana and Chris have expanded in almost every direction.
These are collards.
It has an interior diameter of about 4 feet.
There's some leeks here.
Bake 5-6 loaves at a time.
It's Italian parsley.
We're collecting rainwater off of our roof.
There's rutabaga.
These are so incredible what they can do.
But the big buzz here is the amount of food this garden produces.
For about 7 months of the year, we're eating out of our garden something almost every single day.
We're increasingly interested in doing more for ourselves and learning in the doing and stretching the boundaries of what's possible, or just our notions. We're kind of locked into a vision of, a lawn looks like grass. Well, really, if it's receiving lots of sun and you like to eat and, you have just the tiniest little bit of, experimentation urge, plant something and harvest it and eat it and enjoy it. And you'll notice that it's beautiful in the doing as well.
And they see it as a trend that will only continue to grow.
One day we just put out a table, put a sign by, the road that said fresh vegetables. We had a little donation can, and we just started harvesting the things that were in abundance, put them on the table. Well, what actually occurred is that lots of people were visiting it. We're seeing that there's real interest in having food easily accessible right here where we live. We don't have to go somewhere else to get food. We can have it right where we live.
This garden isn't just about growing food, but also about growing their community.
Our hope is that in the doing and in the sharing, that more and more people will say, I'm willing to, for them it might seem like planting a tomato is a giant step, but that's okay, step by step, learning and doing.
But for now, they'll just continue doing what they do.
Tonight, when we think about dinner, we're going to go out into the garden and say, what could we eat here?
Okay, Chris and Dana, what time do you want me over? I'm ready for dinner.